this is a tough one because I feel like they both do different things better than the other version. Hey music friends, this is Davi Vasc, I'm a music composer for games, and Sunbreak is probably out already by the time this video comes out, and one of the exciting new monsters, well, exciting returning monsters that we got in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is Astalos, and the theme got reworked, of course, for Sunbreak. So today we're gonna listen to and talk about all the versions of the Astalos theme, and we're gonna compare the versions. And it's gonna be very simple because there's only two versions of Astalos theme. There's the version from Monster Hunter Generations and the new version from Monster Hunter Sunbreak. We're gonna listen to both of them, so let's go. So let's start with the Generations version. It's been a while since I've heard this. It's so good. The guitar is so prominent in this. Oh, some dangerous tense chords. Oh man. Now pay attention to this melody. It's such a good melody. There's so much impact, right? And the guitars is so good in this, but I'm gonna play it here on the piano, and I'm probably gonna put it on the screen here so you can see the notes. Look at this. Now notice at the beginning of the melody here how wide the space between these notes is. And usually when you're composing a melody that needs to be catchy and singable and related, you usually don't do this that they're doing here. You usually stick to notes that are closer together and more comfortable to sing. But obviously they don't care about this here. They don't want this melody to be comfortable and singable and relatable. I feel like they want to portray the intensity and the agility of this monster. When you hear such a wide and unpredictable interval like this, it makes you think of Astalos, you know, jumping around everywhere in the stage, flying everywhere. 1 second he's here, the next second he's all the way over there, and it's such an intense melody that fits Astalos so well. These attacks are so intense. Oh yeah, there's some very disturbing chords in this part here. Check this out. So it's a very disturbing chord. Like this is already very tense and disturbing, but then they do this. They do the same chord, but higher pitched, and that increases the intensity, increases, you know, the tension. That's the kind of portrayal that they're giving to Astalos here. Oh, this is really interesting. Now, so good. So now in this part here, they did kind of the same melody or a similar melody to the one from the beginning. Remember where I talked about the wide jumps between the notes? They did a similar melody, but this time they did the opposite. They did with notes very, very close together. In fact, they did as close together as possible. So he's doing this. And as you can see, I'm gonna put this on the screen somewhere. This is as close as it gets on the piano. It's literally one key next to the other. And it's such an interesting contrast, isn't it? A melody with such wide leaps between notes, and another similar melody with very close, tight together notes. This makes me think that Astalos is a monster that is scary because he can jump around so much and be so agile and fast, but he can also be right up close to you, in your face, very tight and close to you. Okay, now it's time for the new version from Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Let's go. Here are the big wide leaps. Man, something cool about this theme, and this is true for the Generations version as well. There's so many powerful, intense attack notes. It's not a very super melodic theme. I feel like the character, the personality of the theme comes through these attack notes. And in case you don't know, attack notes are these short, punchy notes like this. So stuff like this. Each of these notes is a punchy, short, like kind of note, like a stab. And there's so many of these in this theme. So it's so intense and powerful and impactful. But anyway, so far this version, like most Rise themes, sounds a little bit softer, a little bit less punch, but that's every Rise theme is like that. I like the solo guitars though. Let me see if I can find it. Did you hear? Wow. I don't think that was there in the other version. And the disturbing chords, right? Oh man. And the solo guitar again. Oh man, this part, remember in the other theme, this is the part with the notes very close together. This part, like I said, Rise themes in general, they seem a little bit softer, a little bit less punch. This version specifically, I think it's because the Rise version is more orchestral, so there's more instruments, there's strings, full brass section. This part feels a little bit fatter. There's more oomph to it compared to the other. Oh man, this is what I'm talking about. Listen to how full the brass section sounds. And there's something else here at the bass, by the way. Listen to this very cool bass line here. Sounds cool, right? It's a very gradual descent. This is chromatic mode, and if you've watched my channel before, you've probably heard me talk about it. I like to point out chromatic mode whenever I see it, because it's kind of a advanced technique and it's not easy to pull off satisfyingly. And here, I feel like it's being used to express a very gradual and kind of terrifying descent. So it immediately comes to mind like the image of Astalos just falling, crashing down on you. Oh. Is this new? Oh yeah, this is a new part. Yeah, it seems like they added a little new part there. Not entirely new, it's like a new part made out of existing parts. Okay, so I want to compare some things side by side here. First of all, the beginning, the main melody of the theme, and this is Sunbreak version, by the way. Okay, now Generations version. So it's very much like I said before, right? The Rise version is more orchestral, but it feels a little bit softer, maybe because it's orchestral. The guitar is so prominent here in the Generations version. It feels more like a heavy metal rock track than an orchestral track, even though it has the orchestra as well. Oh! Yeah, the Generations version has the solo guitar as well. It's just not as loud. Can you hear it? It's much more prominent in the Rise version. Right? It's much more audible. Now the other part that I want to compare is in the middle of the track, the melody with the notes close together. So this is Sunbreak version. Feels a lot more orchestral. Let's go to the Generations version. Yeah, my assumption, my impression was right. The Sunbreak version, in this part specifically only, feels bigger and fatter. Here, there's the guitar is more prominent, but still feels a little bit thinner. I guess it's because of the orchestral factor. The Sunbreak version has, it feels more orchestral, so it feels bigger, there's more instruments, like a full brass section. This feels a little bit more thinner. Now, which one is the better version? And this is a tough one because I feel like they both do different things better than the other version. I like, on the Sunbreak version, I like the more prominent solo guitars. It sounds very cool. But overall, man, I think you can't beat the rawness, the punchiness and impact of the Generations version, and the almost kind of heavy metal rock style of the song. And it's not by much though. It's tight, and the Sunbreak version has a lot going for it as well. I think the track benefited a lot in some parts from being more orchestral. It felt more full and fatter. So yeah, I think my favorite is the Generations version, but man, that was tough. Hey, before we go back to grinding sets in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, make sure to check out the video I did on the Malzeno theme. It's a really good theme. You probably heard it by now somewhere, and I honestly think it's one of the best themes in recent Monster Hunter memory. And over here I have another comparison video like this one. I compared the theme from Zinogre from Monster Hunter Rise to the theme of Zinogre from Monster Hunter World. So make sure to check that out too. And remember, whenever you're ready to spread your wings and go on a music journey again, I'll see you there.